But so we're going to get to the questions in just a little bit. Get to those questions.
Why do we have to write down
So let me finish my PowerPoint presentation. The sooner that I get through my presentation, the sooner I get through my presentation. The Defund Planned Parenthood Act of 2025 is consistent with my pro-life stance, and it will be consistent with my continued pro-life stance in Congress. I'm proud about that because I think every life was created by God for equal, eternal value, and purpose in this life.
What about my life?
So, I'm pretty sure we've figured out what your position on this, and I'd be glad to keep going on my stand.
Why don't you come over here?
I've actually never treated something the way you guys just treated me. Substantive debate. One of the rules is you can't touch Social Security in the reconciliation process. Now, I suspect that's probably a shock to most of you because most of you may have heard that you think we are cutting some Social Security and the interesting thing is that the Senate parliamentarian knows we can't do that. You can't even touch Social Security.
It's a lawless White House. That's an empty statement. It's a lawless White House.
Problem and the overall deficit problem because as you can see,
raise taxes on the rich.
Statistically speaking in these states,
You're out of touch.
That average, those are just statistics. Let me call out a little misinformation in both parties, and this is I do it for both parties because I think what we're seeing is misinformation on both sides of the aisle.
We're hearing it right now.
I'm kind of fears the Department of Education, if it went away tomorrow, would be a good thing for your
How much money comes from the federal government to our schools?
Thank you.
So listen, on the immigration issue, I'm really glad to see President Trump actually exerting the authority that needs to be exerted and there will be due process along the way, but the millions of people that have come across our borders in the past couple years, and for years, as we talked about it in the last administration, people would say, "Oh, but Congress needs to do something." President Biden can't actually do something about it. The truth was, we need a strong executive.
They're not citizens. They don't deserve due process. Idiots.
So, I applaud the efforts to try to get us back to a real situation.
Do you support the Constitution of the United States?
I deal with that. That's a separation of powers issue that we're not going to get into.
We have to say something about due process. I'm a hardened January 6th defendant. I received no due process. I received no due process. And he needs to answer the question. I should. But y'all ask good questions and he's not answering. Due process is a big question and y'all are right. Everybody's right about due process. As a judge, he should be answering that.
Illegals don't have due process.
I am illegal. I am here. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran. I'm here legally. And I can receive no due process, and he never came to see me. Congressman Louis Gohmert came to see me in jail in D.C., but I reached out to him, and my family reached out to him multiple times, and you never came to visit me. You never answered my mom back. You never answered my father back. You didn't care about my due process rights. I was pardoned because I didn't receive due process, and you're still not answering these questions. 4 years in prison, and you don't care. And I came through your court system and was not given an extradition hearing to D.C. So I was never given an extradition hearing. I was a Republican. I'm a Trump supporter. I was in jail for 4 years for January 6th. There's no due process in this country. And he doesn't care, the law don't care either. They'll arrest me and take me to jail right now just to do it, and I won't get any due process. That is a big question. Let's go, Dad. Until there's due process, there's nothing in this country. And that's why I'm running for Congress here in Texas 1 against Congressman Moran, because everybody in here deserves due process. Everybody in here deserves to have their questions heard. You're not having your questions heard. These are all your constituents. Republicans and Democrats. It's time to go. Come on, Dad. Y'all deserve better. Everybody deserves better. And Ryan Nichols is here to make sure that you get your rights here in East Texas. Because you deserve that. Republicans and Democrats.
That's a stage.
Somebody else asked a question besides the white part.
Well, I think that we have plenty of freedom of press in this country. We've seen just a plethora of outlets that can engage on a number of different platforms. And so, I know there's a change going from our traditional press to more of the social media outlets, but I've seen a lot of free press, even from just.
What about cities for having a reason to vote because of what they're posting online?
What line does President Trump have to cross before you say no?
We have been very adamant about when we think that there's a problem, and if you guys watch my, how about I've been very adamant that when I see something that I think is against the rule of law, against separation of powers, we're gonna speak out. About 2 weeks ago,
What happened to you?
we were in. Trump is resetting the world stage on that. By the way, our allies are not abandoning us.
Protect the Constitution.
I talk frequently to ambassadors from countries of our allies, and I can assure you, they know that they will be excluding us in a number of economic ways, and they're going to come to the table. There's going to be some better and then there's a bunch of stuff that is good that you can put back in cleaning. Well,
How do you help women be able to afford passports if they need them as part of the required documentation needed for the
this is a false ACLU talking point. It's a rabbit trail that is going up trails of things that are not going to happen. And so I didn't read it. And so I think your fears in that regard are not well founded. It's not going to happen. We were really glad to support the SAVE Act because frankly, we don't need people that are not citizens of the United States voting.
responsible for determining which forms of identification are valid and how will those people be trained?
Yeah, it's actually listed in the bill which forms are valid, and those people already are in place. They just have to follow the rules according to what the bill's going to say, or what the bill has laid out for different identifications. So, we really work on behalf of you guys here in the Northeast Texas region, the 1st District of Texas, to make sure that you get more liberty and to protect your rights. Because we want you guys to be and so one of the things that I talked about up here that you guys shouted over me about rights was the patent rights. How many of you in here have good creative ideas? I mean, as a result of protecting innovation, which we're one of the leaders in Congress in intellectual property rights, that kind of stuff, I think, goes a long way. We also filed a bill called the No Fake.